right, so good win. I thought the crowd was awesome today. They were here early. The walk was, phenomenal energy. And, I thought the players fed off of it. And we didn't play great early, a little bit sloppy, and kind of surprised to be up by 10 at half, the way we were. But really good into the half there, going down and getting a touchdown in 2 minutes. I think changed a lot and started, played a really good third quarter. So really pleased with our players, starting with the defense. I thought those guys, once we settled down early, played great. Held these guys to, whatever it was, 70 yards rushing, for a team that ran the ball so well. And last week against Florida, and, I just remind myself that's the same LSU team that beat Florida 7 days ago. So it's not just win, but kind of comfortably win there, up 21 in the fourth quarter. When you start to slow it down is pretty neat. And I don't think we beat them in 5 or 6 years or something. So I hope our fans are pretty excited about that. That puts us at 6-1. So we've got a lot of work to do. We didn't get players back healthy on offense. Matt himself is not healthy, as you can see, limping around out there, but, does not have his usual, group of weapons that he had early on. So, to have all those guys down, receivers, tight ends, and offensive linemen, and still, be able to beat LSU like that, is really neat. I think we'd all take that at the beginning of the year, saying that we were able to beat LSU by a couple touchdowns.
All right, we'll start with Nick. Get the microphone to him.
Lane, we were in here a couple of weeks ago, and you talked about giving up 51 points to a team that was shut out the week before. Now you're giving up 17 to a team that scored 49 the week before. Just over these last 2 weeks, how have you seen this defense respond, and where is the growth coming from in your mind?
Yeah, like I said, we got to remind ourselves of things like that. Just a few, weeks ago, sitting here and really not stopping Arkansas. They all went to a 2-point play. I think Jake Springer has a lot to do with it. Not just as a great player, but feeding off of him like the play he made at Tennessee. I think, he's kind of like Matt on offense. The players feed off of him, so that certainly helps. And, we're playing better. And when you play a slow down offense like that, your guys can do a better job of pass rush like we saw today than having to play, 80, 90 snaps versus tempo. So I'm sure they were happy. They went from two of the fastest off. They see one of the fastest offenses in the country every day. Then the last 2 weeks playing, 2 of the 3 fastest offenses in the country. So they're probably pretty happy to see someone normal.
You talked a lot all week about wanting to see this place full. Was it what you imagined? Was this the atmosphere you envisioned when you took over here?
Yeah, it was cool. I don't see it the whole game, obviously, but, to look, I glanced up, before kickoff, and, it was full, and, seemed like they were, there was a presence on third down, and, so it was awesome to see, and, that's how it should be, and, the game was kind of a little bit dead at some points there, just slow moving and stuff, so, but I thought the fans were really good today. And we actually punted on a 4th down too, so I think I heard some boos actually. I didn't know what to do. Like, it was like, the book actually said don't punt, and I'm like, but we only have 7 points. We're stopping them, so I went against it and punted them deep, and our defense got us the ball back 3 and out. So went against analytics and it worked.
You mentioned that Matt was beat up, but he's still running the ball. He caught a pass. How would you kind of rate his performance?
He missed a few throws early, as you probably noticed. When you can't push off, that's kind of hard to play quarterback. And you could see he couldn't move the same, when your rhythm's off because he didn't take all the reps like you normally would all week. And again, his starting group that I said at the beginning of the year were going to be the best 3 receiver group in the country. If they stayed healthy, and they haven't, so he's down to 1 out there. So, the guy's a warrior, the guy's awesome, Selfishly for him, well, it's not really selfish, I wish we had all the pieces around him, because now you're going to get, Heisman, they're going to have the numbers and all that stuff, and, you got to watch the game. I don't get to sit back there and just wait forever and throw to wide open people. So, I mean, he's awesome, and I don't know where to be without him.
Questions? Robert?
And another note on him, I mean, he threw for 180 or something like that, and I kind of said afterwards, man, sorry we didn't do a better job getting guys over. He didn't care. He didn't care less about his stats. That is rare at any time, but especially this age with kids.
How big was that stop when the goal line stand on the 4th down? Because, I mean, if they score there, then it's 2-possession game and things are changed. But then from that moment on, and you guys dominated from that moment on, what changed after that stop and how big was it?
Yeah, it was not a good, this game did not start good. It did not feel good. It didn't feel good offensively. That was a little bit off. We were struggling with the rush. It didn't feel good defensively. They were running and mixing the passes in, and Johnson was playing really good. So that stopped. And we had said all week, okay, they're going to come with good energy. They just came off the floor to win and everything. If we could get a lead, maybe the game would go like the Kentucky game went. And so I do think, it went that way in the 3rd quarter once we got a lead. So that was a big stop, huge momentum, and we were backed up there, and Snoop ran us out, a couple runs, which was really good.
And those 17 points that you gave up, that was the fewest tied with the Austin Peay game. But, against an SEC team like that, do you think this is the best that y'all have looked on defense all season long? And do you think you can kind of build on what the defense was able to do today?
I mean, it's fun to be the head coach, when your defense is playing good. You can slow things down, you can play, you don't have that feeling like you got to score all the time like we've had at times here. But I thought our defense started this way in the Louisville game, shut out at half, and so, I think we're back to that. And like I said, I think Springer makes a big difference. And when we can get off the field on 3rd down, like 4 or 12 today, now we don't get worn down because we don't have great depth. And so when we can stay fresh and let our 2 defensive ends rush, we're pretty good.
Lane, going back to last season, y'all are now 10-2 in your last 12 games. What do you attribute the ascent of this program to?
Yeah, I did not know that stat. That sounded good, though. That's my agent over there. He did. I attribute that to guys, playing well. I attribute that to having Matt Corral. So let's make no mistake. That guy. That record is not 10-2 without him, that's for sure. So, and I just think, I'm not sitting here to say buy into what we do, I just think they bought into each other. And, they play really well, and like we told them, they find a way to win. The stars seem to change every week. You're not sure who they're going to be, in each game, which is a little bit different. Sometimes, like last year, it's going to be Matt and Elijah, and so this is more people stepping up from different spots, which is great to see.
We'll take one more down low.
Was it just a matter of time for Jerry, and were you just kind of waiting out the injury for him to have the big game today, or was there something schematically that you saw that kind of allowed him to succeed?
Well, I think he opened his stride up. I think he had not been doing that. He'd been stopping his feet. And to him this week, hey, you're a speed back, and you're not playing like it. You're not really letting it loose. And we said it right on that run. The headset, I beat Kevin Smith. And I said, that's what it's supposed to look like. When you got a speed back, it's supposed to look like that. There's the hole, and he's gone. So, that's what we were hoping would happen, and he seems to be back, and it's at the right time because, without these receivers, these guys had to step up, and that is to cover one every snap today. So that means there's another guy in the box. So they ran really well against another guy in the box.
We'll take questions up top.
Coach, obviously, Eli Manning Day, what was it like to see, a player like that come to the program, get recognized like that on a game like today where you guys were able to win as well?
It was awesome to have him on the walk, and I joked with him, I wore his jersey for the walk, I was like super fan, I felt like I was going to a Giants game, like on the bus going to the game, so, it's awesome. I've been around him, but not that much, and just to be around him today and see how humble he is. Called him this week to ask him about what jerseys we like to pick our jerseys, and he's like, no, man, let the players, I want whatever the players want. So again, like Matt Corral in a different way, that's rare. A great player like that, to be that humble and just wanting to help others and stuff is awesome to see. So really cool day for him. The end zones were awesome, and we just love the Mannings.
Coach, going into the game with Matt kind of banged up, did you talk to the running back room and be like, it's going to be on your guys' shoulder this week, and how would you evaluate the performance today?
And, not exactly. We didn't, but we said, hey, you never know. The stars change every week. You don't know, especially in college football, but the SEC. You see teams lose that aren't supposed to lose. You see games that you think you as the head coach are going to be high scoring or low scoring or vice versa. So you just never know. We tell them all the time, you never know who's going to need to step up and where it's going to come from. And so today you had, hey, we're a little off in the passing game, down receivers. Matt couldn't move very well, so you weren't going to get anything in the running game out of him. So they were going to need to step up, and they did.
Lane, does it feel like something has clicked with this team over the last 2 weeks where it feels like more complete performances? It's not just, trying to outscore the other team?
Yeah. I think sometimes when you have moments in a season where games, let's make no mistakes, the last 2 games before us could win either way. They're one play at the end of the game away from us losing. So when those go that way, sometimes that just kind of springboards you into having some confidence as players. Hey, man, we're pretty good. So we tell them all week, hey, good seeing me is great, and that's where we are. Like, we're good, but then we don't close people out at the end of the games. We're not great. And, we weren't great today either, and told them that. So the good thing is we're close. If we could get healthy and play the way we know how to play, we could be a really special team. I just hope we get healthy before there are any games left.
All right, thank you, Coach. We're
All right.
next.
Thanks.